and we have to talk about the strategic role of the civil diplomacy, because diplomats alone cannot solve everything. So there was a concept which called multi-track diplomacy model that was initiated in the 90s. And the idea is that governments are not the only ones who can really find peace and solve it. So this model identifies nine different tracks. So let's see those tracks. Track one, okay, official government. Track two is the unofficial elite. Those people who are sometimes preparing the work for the diplomats. For instance, something like the Oslo agreements have been prepared by many people because they can express things that official government or diplomats cannot say directly. So it's important. Track three, civil society. Of course, you see Rotary's there. Business and economic, because business, unfortunately, is many times the cause of conflicts, but it can be also the way to solve those conflicts if you bring wealth, if you bring work to the people. So it's a very important track, and Rotary is there, of course. Research and education is just obvious, but we have to mention it. Rotary is there. So then you have also media communications, because you have to talk and change the mindset of the people. So this is very important. Also, religious and cultural are playing a very big role, and funding and philanthropy, because you need to fund all those actions, and track nine, citizens and volunteers. So we see that we have one, two, three, four tracks where we're directly involved, but we have Rotarians in all of these nine tracks. So that means that we really have a potential power, which is very important. So as we are working with different countries all the time, we have those contacts. So we have to enhance all this. So civil society network, business relationships, education leadership, and citizen diplomacy. These are our main goals. So multi-track is not optional, because one single track cannot solve the problem. It's just impossible, because there are so many levels where you have to act. So, and Rotary's comparative advantage is real. As I said, we have Rotarians in all those tracks. And the question is not whether it's necessary, but how can we do it? So, thank you very much. And now I would like to bring here our panelists. Gentlemen, first Ambassador Zhang, who is from Taiwan. He's been ambassador in different countries. 40 years he's been serving Taiwan. He has been in France. He just comes back from Brussels, and we are very honored to have him with us. So he will give us the view from his side. I would like to invite Faiz also. Faiz is has been not only director but also in the board of Rotary International, and he has been initiating different ICCs, some very important ICCs. And for instance, we met in 2019 in Hamburg when I saw a signing of ICC India-Pakistan. I was just wondering, India, Pakistan, going up to ICC? Yes. And they've been doing so many things, like giving surgery, heart surgery to a young Pakistani child done in India. And the reverse was also possible. So our civil society and the work that people are doing on the ground is helping us. Sharon Award will talk about business, talk about money, culture. So Shah is one of the greatest person who initiates global grants all over the world for years and years. He's one of the most important donors to the foundation, and most of all, is a very good friend of ICC. Now, I finish with the most important part, which is our youth. So Hélène is also a peace fellow, but she has also been involved in diplomacy, and she's doctor, and always been in the diplomatic area because her father was also a diplomat. So we will start our, please take a seat. So the point is to see how ICC can contribute and be a part of or act as a strategic infrastructure to bring peace or to participate to peace, because nobody can claim he's doing the peace except one on the other side of the ocean, but I think nobody is interested. So I will start. So I will start. I will start with two, let's say, structural questions, and to get the opinion of these people. So, and then I will ask you first, as you were presented last. So, what is the comparative advantage of civil networks over governments, and what are the limits of this advantage? So, each of you will be asked this question. So, please, Elaine.
So I think this is on.
This one is
Oh yeah, yeah. So I used to work for the New Zealand government, foreign affairs, and based on that experience, I would say that working through bureaucracy means that sometimes even good things take a long time to eventuate, and when it does come out, it's sometimes out of date. Where civil networks can be responsive, the speed at which they can adapt, be flexible, be relevant. Civil networks know what people want on the ground. And so when they are putting something into action, it's relevant. It's what people want because it's engaged with the needs of what they're trying to do. So I would say it's responsive, adaptable, and relevant.
And what are the limits of this advantage?
The limits is that sometimes speed can also be not so good. And I guess civil networks doesn't mean that they're all politically or morally good. Civil networks means the whole range of groups. So sometimes their voices and what they are trying to do, their intentions, might conflict as a body. So I guess the challenges is who is loudest sometimes gets heard first.
Well, most of the advantages is like when you look at Rotary clubs around the world. The Rotary clubs are always ready. They have a lot of resources, and they know everyone in the community. And they, you know, take any disaster that happened, the first people on the ground, because they're also connected with the other people. We're business people, and that's how Rotary has started. We're business, so we are connected to everybody. So everybody knows everyone. So it is faster, and also they use all the resources available to them. The limitation is going to come over the government resources. You know, my wife, Dr. Brista, she's here. She's working on cleaning rivers. So instead of a global grant, she was able to go to the resources to clean the rivers, which are the cities and the business people on the ground, and she was able to get help with over $90,000 when it will not happen any other way. And also the advantage of it, that accountability. So a lot of times we cannot, as Rotarians or civil people, account for the action of people. You know, have you seen anybody can fire a volunteer? You can't. There is no civil way of firing a volunteer. You know, firing a volunteer. And I have not seen in Rotary a policeman. We never have policemen, so we just control ourselves and we deal with ourselves on by the four-way test and ethics of and Rotary. So you know, it varies from community to community according to the culture and also the readiness of the people. That's why Rotary right now is considering emphasizing a lot on the disaster aspect because we're not a disaster force responder people, but in our heart and we know the community, we do respond for that. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is John. I just retired from the foreign service in January of this year. And with my 40 years experience in the civil service, I would say Rotary International did a great job. You contribute a lot to lasting peace, especially in the domain of commercial and industrial domain. And I think the government also is a role to play, and the civil society also. So you must have those two to work together to make things to keep the lasting peace. And I would say with conventional diplomacy, we see its limits. For example, in Ukraine and in the Middle East, because when one of the five permanent member of the Security Council get vetoed, then all kind of resolution cannot be adopted. So you cannot prevent the war from happening. Yes. So I would say that civil society and the hard power of government of authorities are also very important to build the lasting peace. Both of them. Thank you.
Good afternoon, all of you. Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me here as part of these panelists, and above that, for holding this very important session. What's going on in the world, I think we all know. We don't have to repeat, but it's a critical time. Before moving further, I would like to state, and if we can, I don't know whether it can be done or not, that you have mentioned about 9 tracks, of we should be adding one track, and that is, I feel, most important. That is the track for the youth. I think, I believe what's happening around the world, let us engage youth. And I'm happy you are here today, speaking at the convention also. And I look forward that we Rotarians, we believe we have been doing youth development programs, RILAs and all, but we have to, I think, speed up. Now, coming on to this question, I will stick to Rotary. And as far as Rotary is concerned, yes, Rotary, I believe, and Rotarians are the most influential individuals in their respective capacities. They can create tremendous impact. They can do what governments are reluctant to do or afraid of doing, and they can be guided as well. And I have so many examples I can share with you, but obviously you don't have time. But I'll just share one example. That's my personal example. By profession, I'm an architect, and whenever I meet my clients, go to visit the client, Rotary has always been talk of the priority, not the work, whether I will get or not get, but Rotary. So I was communicating with one of the clients in a remote area, remote city, which is now the second port city of Karachi called Gwadar. And until 2016, there was no girls' college in that city. We had girls in schools, but beyond class 10, there was no girls' college. So I, discussed with him, okay, why don't we make a girls' college here? So he, after discussion, he said, okay, uh, let's do one thing. I said, what? I give you the land. I said, I'll give you the design free of cost. So another condition is that will not get uh, any support, financial support from the government. Then I said, how are you going to build it? He said, just wait. Within 1 week, he collected the entire amount, and that college was completed in 1 year. And today, 1,500 graduates are coming out of that college since 2017. So that is the influence. That is the influence that Rotarians can make now.
So, so another question, because we always talk about peace building, but is preventive peace building realistic? Or are our civil networks structurally condemned to react after the conflict starts? So this is an important point that I would like to have your opinion.
I'd like to deconstruct that question a little bit because I think that question assumes that conflict is static and that conflict and peace is a linear process. That's what traditional conflict resolution models suggest. But in conflict transformation frameworks, we understand conflict as always moving backwards, forwards, sideways. A seemingly peaceful country there are some that might come to mind. Suddenly, people can storm the parliament overnight, and the country is in chaos. Whereas a country that is in war, even within war, there is peace, moments of peace. So I think in terms of like feeling like a preventative conflict or preventative peace, while we do everything we can as much as we can together. And sometimes peace moves in different speeds. Sometimes it takes a long time, and sometimes it can be very fast. So I think it's important to always see peace building from that lens. Yes.
Well, if we look at it from 2 points of view, uh, Rotary, with the programs we have on Rotary, from the Youth Exchange to Interact, to Rotaract, to RILA, to all of these, to the Peace Fellows, to the exchange students. And I really believe the exchange students, every single one of them, could be an ambassador for all the communities. I've seen some district in South America. They have 200, 300, 400 in Brazil. So these, can you imagine in the case of a war that these people are going to fight with each other? No. They have a mother over there. They have a mother over here now. They have a family over there. They have a family over here now. So they're not going to fight. But there are some disadvantages. And way over this. The peacemakers will starve in peace conditions because money does not come in until they start counting the bodies, or there is a disaster of flooding somewhere, or a starvation somewhere. So we have the 7 areas of focus as Rotarians, and all of us, we work through that. And we establish peace through these areas of focus. And we invest in our youth because Mahatma Gandhi says, when you want to establish peace, you start with the youth. And that's where we start, right? So, but also, we want to bring those youth to our groups because we want to blend the energy from the youth with the wisdom of our mature Rotarians. So in the world of when the war starts, then everything starts coming in. Like in Ukraine. We never thought about Ukraine, and we never went to their help. But when the war started, now we all want to establish peace in Ukraine. And how we can establish it? Through global grants, through our missions. We just came in, my wife and I, 10 days ago, we were in Mykolaiv, we were in Kiev, and we were also in a camp to rehabilitation for the women and the children of the fallen heroes in Volin, in the camp. So we stayed over there for 3 days. But all of these programs, Rotary will spring out when that something happens because we are in those communities and we have connections. And what's international to someone in India is community to me, and what's community to them is international to me. So we're a family of Rotary that we always looking after each other, and we're like Robin Hoods. We rob the rich to give to the poor. So that we use that through our foundation, because for our foundation also we match our money, and then that makes more impactful grants or more impactful work that we do around the world.
Thank you for this question. And I want to share a story of Taiwan with you, because more than 40 years ago, when I served in the army, at that time, fighter jet take off from mainland China. It took only 7 minutes to Taiwan. And right now, especially since 4 years, there are fighters and military ships from mainland China all around this island on daily basis. And it's very true. It meant that the war may happen overnight. But when Chiang Kai-shek with his army and civil servants installed in this island in 1949, right till now, more than 75 years, we try to keep peace in across Taiwan Strait. And how do we do? First, certainly we need the determination to defend ourselves. So military build-up necessary, yes. And at the same time, we use many civil society. For example, Red Cross. Before 1990s, it was this NGO who had close straight relations, gave humanitarian aid and assistance for both sides. And after the establishment of direct contact across Taiwan Strait, then we have official or semi-official channels. But this kind of communication are suspended almost since 2006 after a political alternate the ruling party changed. So right now the policy of our government is not to cede to the pressure of mainland China, but how can we maintain this this kind of channel, certainly with civil society, NGOs, to help the government to help people who need this kind of assistance and aid.
Very good question. Very good question.
Thank you.
Yes, it is needed. It has been done, and again, I am focusing on Rotary, not beyond that. There's been so many examples that has really effectively contributed. Again, I'll get back what has been done and what can be done. I'll give you example of Rotary between Rotary and Pakistan, as mentioned. You mentioned also. We signed the inter-country committee in 2019, but we have been working together for more than 2 decades. In fact, when I was the governor of of Pakistan, that is was at that time 3270, my counterpart from Delhi, Deepak Talwar, he is also an active member of ICC. We collaborated and we signed an agreement between us at that time. It was called a Declaration for Friendship and Peace, and our focus was peace through community service. Peace through community service, reaching out the grassroots level, connecting the people at the grassroots level. And we initiated a program which was conducting congenital heart surgeries. Both India and Pakistan, we collaborated. We funded the children from India. India funded the children, routine funded from Pakistan. And most at that time, we did not have that specialty in Pakistan. So we had sent thousands of children from Pakistan to India. Till now, 4,500 surgeries have been successfully done. That is all. And now, just imagine those children coming from India with a second life. They are all talking about India. They're not saying we are Pakistanis alone. They're saying India gave us a second life. Similarly, the children in India have been supported by us. So that is just one project. I'll give you another example because obviously time is short. Youth exchange programs. Rotary have these youth exchange programs. In 2016, again, we decided to have a youth exchange program between Pakistan and India. So our friends in India said, okay, let Pakistan send their first team. I said, okay. We have been publishing it, we've been sending through various channels, inviting applications. None of the children was interested. The parents were not allowing them to go to India. So I said, okay, fine. I said, the first member of this family would be my daughter. So I gave the name of my daughter, and then suddenly there were 7-8 applications which came in. They went there, 2 weeks. At the end of the 2 weeks, they were not ready to come back to Pakistan. How they were treated, how they, because all what they had was perception, which they had been seeing on media. Similarly, when the turn of Indian team, came, nobody was wanted. But then there was 6, 7 youth members who visited Pakistan. They stayed with us. One couple of youth they stayed with my family as well. And same thing. After 2 weeks, they were not ready to go. So this is the power of Rotary, and this is the power. That's what I'm saying. We need to connect youth. It is very important, which is missing these days. And how, I think we all have to deliberate on that. That youth engagement at this point of time, if we want to see a peaceful world, we need to get our youth connected together. Right now, they are very negative. Now, whatever good work we have done, unfortunately, it has all rolled back. They're all hating each other right now. Again, what's happening in the media.
You're right. For the youth, it's our future, for sure.
I would say present rather, now present.
Yes.
Youth are our present.
Exactly. So let's talk about youth and about also our Peace Fellows, which is a very important program in Rotary. So, okay, there is a lot of things written, the academic literature is full. But what is the single finding you most wish that policymakers and civil networks actually apply? And why don't they?
I give my response based on my research for my doctorate and also as a practitioner. So please go there. Just a hands up. I want to get a poll. How many of you are married in this room or have been married? Yeah. I just had my wedding anniversary and my husband's not here, so I owe him big time for letting me go away during my wedding anniversary. And I wanted to answer with an example. When you get married, how many people are in that marriage? Generally two, right? And when you want a successful marriage, what are the ingredients of a successful marriage? Well, I imagine many of you will tell me it's that if you want to have the same happy wife, a happy life, happy wife, right? How do you have a happy wife? I'll tell you as a wife. It's when my husband listens to me, right? When my husband listens to me. If he wants a happy wife, how does he have a happy wife? Well, instead of going and booking an expensive holiday or buying me an expensive present, he has to figure out what I want. Do I want that expensive holiday? Do I actually want that huge ring or whatnot? I might not want that huge ring. I might not want that expensive holiday. At the same time, if you look at the research and in practice, if you want something to work, you need to think long term, not just a project. You want to make it to be sustainable. You also need to consult. It's not hard, it's not something that's new, it's very basic that you all understand. If you want to do something that's relevant, consult. If you want to involve your young people, if you want to go beyond and include women and the marginalized people, to make that successful and impactful, ask them what they want. They might not want that toilet block or that education program done like that. If you consult the young people, they will have buy-in. That's what co-design means, participatory. There are all these fancy words. All it means is just ask, right? What do you want, honey, to celebrate for your anniversary? I don't want to go over there. I'm so exhausted. I've just come back from Taiwan. All I want is a nice thing, you know? So if you want to involve your young people, you want to involve your women, don't just do it for them. Bring them from the start. Ask them, what do you want? How would you use this money? And what does success look like?
Well, I don't know if this is the question for us, but you know, she's right on. She's right on. You know, and I always said it's you know, be diplomatic. You know, to be diplomatic, then you have to have three facts for diplomacy: it's understanding, communication, and respect. And I think with all of these three, you can bring the action to a happy ending. And she did not talk about, she did not mention anything about how she establishing peace in the world. And I want to be her advocate because she wrote a book about how to establish peace through food. So how you know, and peace really, a lot of times from the ages of Stone Ages until now, peace is negotiated on a table. You break bread with someone, they will never forget you. And our peace fellow over here, she wrote a great book, connect with her and see how we can help her also. But that's also her livelihood. And we're taking her time, which probably need to give back to her livelihood. Thank you very much for all this.
So before giving my question to Shah, I would like to tell you a story. We were talking about your marriage on our class. An old Armenian priest at a wedding said to the two young married, he said, "Listen, you will have arguments. Okay, this is normal, but the man must have the last word." So, what is she saying? What is it? It was 2 years ago, you know, not 50 years ago. So everybody was wondering, and then you say, yes, you must say, yes, my lord.
That's the last one.
That's the last word. Now let's talk about business. So the business networks often go quiet when the conflicts escalate, when their voice matters the most. What should it take for business leaders to stay engaged across conflict lines, even at the reputational and financial cost?
Well, we have uh, two things that we really have to look into: the moral aspect and the civil aspect of it, and our moral obligation, and also the aspect of the financial aspect. So in wars, where are we going to be? So a lot of times, if you stand on the line and you don't take a stand, nobody knows which side you're on. So you'll be condemned by both parties, whatever the war is. And most of the times, the businesses that are affected the most are the businesses are the closest to borders. Sometimes if there's a war between two countries, the border lines is the most, like you go in Ukraine, you know, the closest you go to the line of war, then those businesses are affected the most, and probably they're not even there. So what I would say, before the war starts, in civil, and peaceful setting, form a cooperative, like we have down in Mykolaiv. We started the business for wine, the wine business. So we did a global grant, and we visited that about on the 31st actually of last month. So what we have done is we helped the winemakers in that region by giving them a global grant for about $165,000. We took a center, we established that center as the winery. We put the equipment in it, we put solar on top, generator and refrigeration, and also became a place for all the uh, people in that region to bring their product to sell it in that region. So now what they have done, and then also I will not, before I forget, we also supplied them with 11,000 plants for grapes. So we call the projects Mines to Vines, Peace through Agriculture. So, and that is really happening so fast right now. So we visited the grapes that are growing, and now they're making some wine from the grapes they have. So we've also took 6 people from that region, and we brought them to the United States, to Napa Valley, to show them how to make wine. So when they're coming back right now, they formed a cooperative, and that cooperative is going to help them now. And once that war stops, where are they going to be? These business people will be right out front. They will be the most successful people because they never withdrew. They are in the battle, but also were working with each other. So our organization, our Rotary organization, really does not forget about anything in those societies because, like Mahatma Gandhi says, before you speak peace to anyone, you got to feed them first. So we got to see what the needs on those communities as business people, and let us work with them according to their needs. So yes, we can, do what we want in our mind to do, but they know the most about what they need in their communities, and we're here to help these people and help ourselves to be successful on what our efforts. And I tell you what, I think our foundation, and our Rotarians, with the things they give, on a daily basis, and to form these little organizations inside every country, and that really helps in the time of peace. And when war starts, it really helps to be on the ground and also helping. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sean. Very interesting. Ambassador Sean, the government sometimes tolerates civil diplomacy when it's convenient and shut it down when it's not. It happens. But what makes the difference between a civil network that gets instrumentalized by states and one that maintains a genuine independence?
Thank you. And before I share my point of view with you, I would say I listen to my wife. So she is a happy wife, and she is happy. I'm happy. Okay. And I remember when I start my foreign service 40 years ago, I asked my superior, what is the most important thing to do diplomacy? And he told me, make friends. And I think it's very, very true because after 40 years, I told my colleagues or youngsters in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, make friends. And this afternoon, when I entered into this room, I saw everybody smiling on your faces, and I think it's kind of communication by body, yes. And I think that government certainly they have authority, hard power to sign treaties, agreements that civil society cannot do. But for example, Rotary International, you have community connections and personal person-to-person relationship is very, very important. Just like state-to-state relation, for example, formal diplomatic relations is based on person-to-person friendship, but it cannot get rid of national interests. But for civil society, yes, you may have your liberty to do something concrete, even it's only at the local level, different from state to state relationship. And for the government, I would say if NGO is strong enough not to rely heavily on public or government resources, then it can be very autonomous for its action. And you may avoid this kind of situation. I think. Thank you.
Thank you very much, by the way. So, civil society actors in active conflict zone are accused by all sides of serving one agenda or another one, unfortunately. How do you build and maintain credibility with a party who deeply distrust each other without becoming irrelevant for both. So this position is, you are experienced it. So please share that.
Again, talking of other organizations and talk of Rotary, there's a lot of difference. Rotary has already built up its credibility. People know that when a Rotary member is reaching out, they know or they have been informed it's non-religious, non-political, nothing to do with language, caste, color, creed. So they immediately, get along with you. Rotary has an excellent, I would say, a 360-degree solution of reaching out the grassroots level. We have Rotary clubs, we have Rotaract clubs, we have Interact clubs, we have RCCs, the Rotary Community Corps. And I can give you another example. In 1997-98, when I was the president-elect of my club, we had this concept of Rotary Community Village at that time. Further, it was named as Rotary Community Corps. There was an area, very disturbed area in terms of law and order situation, and there's been uh, gang wars and all. So through some friends, we tried to form a Rotary Community Corps, a group of 20 people from there. We engaged them, and we started. We didn't went came in the front. We supported them and started engaging them in different activities, education, health, and all. Then gradually things improved, and we ourselves also went ahead. Since 97, I think this is one of the finest Rotary Community Corps examples, perhaps in the world, if not at least in Pakistan, where that community corps has become the backbone of Rotary. Hundreds and thousands of eye surgeries they have under. They have established a Rotary eye health clinic, hospital. In 1980, 98, we gave them the stars. That's a population at that time, a population of 1 million people, that we want to have this area polio free. They engaged the local, religious leaders and all. In 3 years, that area became polio free. Until now, there has been no polio case in that particular area. Again, schools, they must have been engaged. 200 schools since then, 200, and more. Many of them were government schools, which we adopted and we engaged them. So engaging the community is very important. We can reach out to them, and they are the one who leads them. We have to give them the leadership power as well, make them learn, make them engage. Similarly, road tracks, similarly the interact clubs, they are actually the doers. And that's why I said, when you talk of youth, it is youth which we need today. We need to groom them as leaders and put them ahead so that they become the leaders of solving the crisis or whatever it is about.
Yes, we have to put the youth ahead, but unfortunately, many Rotary clubs, the Rotaractors are considered only helpers. But in fact, there are a real engine for it.
Yes, yeah.
So now,
Can I just make one point on that? In one of the Rotary meetings, somebody said, let's get Rotractors, let us use them. I said, what? Use them? What do you mean by that? Engage them, involve them. So you are absolutely right that Rotractors.
yeah, and now it's a tendency. I would like to finish with one general question, and then we will certainly have some questions from the audience. So let's be quick and concise. So, in order to summarize, what is one thing Rotary ICCs do that no government or international organizations can replicate? And how are we using that advantage to its full potential?
I think like all the aspects of Rotary, you look at them and all the fellowship, we went with a fellowship for wine. There's a fellowship for everything you want to think about. That I was interviewing at our peace park, somebody fellowship about healing with meditation and the smell and stuff. So there is a fellowship for everything. There is a Rotary Action Group, that in our there are so many things, and you can start your own fellowship. So like ICC brings people together with, from different countries who have love for that country, and and then they collaborate through global events. So I belong to ICC Russia, United States, Ukraine, United States, Colombia, United States, so India, United States. So these little organizations, they're very effective. And we have done so many global events. By the way, even though sitting at the Peace Park, I sat with the bench with a few people today, we established 4 global events, just like that. Just sitting on the bench and start telling them, this is what we can help you. And we put money in it. And one lady says, I've been in Rotary for 20 years, and she has like tear in her eye. She's doing an education program in South Africa with a tear in her eyes. I never thought I can do this. I can start a global event. So I think this little organization, including with our friend from Egypt, we invited for the foundation, and we established 5 global grants in one evening, right? So this is how we want to be known for, is the ICCs will help each other. It's a perfect situation because a global grant has to be established between one country and another. So you got the basics for that. Now let's see how we can bring the people together and all the resources, including the foundation, to do more impactful global grants. And I would say, you know, we need to also work on ourselves. How can we bring diplomacy and peace among us? My grandfather always said, with thanks and pray, good things will stay. With thanks and pray, good things will stay. I think just sitting on this panel, and we are reading your thoughts from your eyes. I want to thank you all for being who you are in your clubs, in your little organizations, in everything you do. Because my grandfather always says, when you build a great castle, every little nail counts. So whatever you do, in the ICC or any other organization, represent who you are, who we really are, and why we do it. So thank you again for being here today, and we will meet on the road of service, and through an ICC or any other thing, and like our ambassador says, peace will start with a smile. When he came to this room and saw these people with a smile, peace starts. He starts feeling good that we are a peaceful people, but a peaceful world. I want to thank you again. You're awesome.
So now we're caught in a time of, in many countries that we're facing recessions around the world, and foreign aid budgets are shrinking. People are saying, why send money overseas when you should be spending it here? When there are poor people and there's hunger, why are you sending it overseas? And I think ICC has an opportunity to move beyond their borders. Our well-being here is connected to the well-being overseas. That's what COVID taught us. A small little virus seemingly far away affects us everywhere very quickly. Climate change affects us all. It doesn't listen to borders. Those are human constructs. And so ICC has an opportunity to respond, to care and have compassion and generosity without the need to go through the bureaucracy to justify to people. You can act very quickly. So I see that as an opportunity. The challenge is that comes with that speed is the lack of oversight and accountability that sometimes comes with bureaucracy. And so to be sustainable, just like friendship, if your friend that is unhappy with you, so nowadays there's a word of ghosting. They don't respond to your text message. And you're like, what happened to them? We were friends and suddenly there's silence. Ghosting can happen as well. And in ICC, if you're having a bilateral relationship or multilateral relationship, and one side feels like they are not heard or not an equal partner, and then suddenly a ghosting happens, you're wondering why is this ICC not active? That's where the need to always invest in that relationship that takes a bit of work.
And as Claudine was saying, they meet every month. I don't say that everybody must meet every month, but they must keep the contact because unfortunately we have quite a number of ICCs where the contact has been left. So it's very important to continue to keep this contact. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you. I served my country, my government for 40 years, and that's for national interest, and I get paid every month. But after my retire, I told to myself, from now on, I do something meaningful for myself, and I don't expect any payment. Okay, so when I saw the misery in Gaza, and when I saw Taipei Grand Mosque, even their resources is very limited. They donate something to help children in Palestine. So I called the president of foundation and may I do something? For example, a little donation to your foundation, and he accepts. So since 2 years, every year I get about 100,000 Taiwan dollars to that foundation. Even it's small, but I think it's meaningful, and I don't expect any feedback. You know, I'm not Muslim, and I think here you have a Catholic, church, Christian, Muslim, all together, all work for Rotary International, for ICC, for peace. I think it's a happy family, and I admire you all.
Mr. Ambassador, you're talking like a there.
Thank you.
So I probably would take a vote today
Okay.
if you should become a Rotarian,
Okay.
and I'll be your sponsor.
We all support.
First of all, I think ICC is the solution of what we have been talking about. Reaching the grassroots level is very important. People to people contact is very important. But before that, before reaching to those two areas, the Rotarian to Rotarian contact is most important. As you very correctly said, that we need to have regular meetings between the countries, ICC respective countries, and we need to promote it more at the Rotary level first, and then we can go beyond. We have excellent examples. I gave you example of ICC Pakistan, India. Same we are having with Pakistan and Germany. But recently, I think maybe we have to go beyond, much beyond that. That's why I reached out and discussing that. Let's have many more countries getting involved through this program. I am foreseeing that ICC is the ultimate solution of what we are talking about on the platform of Rotary with regard to peace and engagement.
So thank you very much. Before the conclusion, I think that Sham has a little present for those participants.
Well, did I say thanks and pray that things will stay? So we want to thank you today for being here. And we want you to remember us. So our panelists, would you please give each one of our panelists today a medallion that says United for Good. So, and also on the back of it, it is the four-way test. So, please, just. Thank you. Go ahead.
So here, the forward test is before doing any action, you have to check.
Yes.
To check this. If you see that you check the 4 points, you can go ahead.
Okay.
And that's your first step to become a Rotarian.
Okay.
And please,
Seriously.
thank you.
Thank you.
For all your support.
Thank you.
And our young lady from Ukraine, there was some other people. Come on up.
Irina, come.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
And you, Mr. Panelist, so we want to thank you also for all the efforts you do.
Thank you very much. So, in this room, there are people who didn't know about ICC, and I met some of them. So maybe they have some questions, or even other of you. We still have 5-10 minutes. So if you want to express yourself about what was said, to add on something or to ask questions, please.
Our speakers were absolutely fantastic. They highlighted a lot of things with going around the world, but the final target is peace. My question is, as you know, we are making bombs. We are very good of precision bombing as well, and that creates a lot of unhappiness in the whole world. Maybe 1 or 2 countries affected heavily, but we all are affected for this sort of effect, this sort of unwanted desire of somebody or some people. So can ICC or the whole Rotary can have a structured committee, whether Rotaract or Rotarians, can jointly voice out against this sort of behavior because we all want peace? Any answer? Thank you.
See, we are a non-political, non-religious organization, and we would not, we don't want to be painted with any kind of color. So in wars or in peace, we are the same. We hum and go because we have no control on any government that they're going to start wars with each other. That's beyond the Rotarians' ability to stop that. As we speak right now, we have over 162 active wars. What do? We run to hell. It doesn't matter. We cannot control that. I was interviewing a lady who is a district governor yesterday. I want to tell you one thing that resignated in me from Russia. She's the fastest to come. She said, okay, I will interview with you, but 2 things I will ask you not to ask me or not to mention. 2 words, peace and war. She said, if I go back to my country and I did this interview and peace or war was mentioned in this interview, I'll be prosecuted. That's a Rotarian. So how could we prevent wars and 2 words will leave you in jail? So what we do is we give kindness and love, and hopefully the world will turn around one day. We make people feel comfortable. You give to the foundation, you will never know who on the other side, or you will never shake their hand, you'll never see them, but they will feel your kindness. And that's what we're all about. But stopping wars, I don't know. You know, like Mahatma Gandhi says, the earth will meet all our needs, but not all our greeds. There are so many greeds in the world, and we cannot stop them.
Yes, please.
May I have an okay? May I go there so that I will be in Güneş's camera? Hello, I'm Neşe from Turkey, Izmir, president of my club, and ICC Turkey to Portugal. And I was thinking, Rotarians are 1.2 million people who are traveling the most, right, in the world. I've been to more than 50 countries, and wherever I go in this club locator, try to, pop into a club and so on. But I was thinking, why don't I do this traveling purpose? I mean, I know many of you came to Turkey. I don't know how many of you visited a club. I don't know how many of you maybe visited RCC, because we have an RCC, a school, where one a day, just 2 hours, a Japanese friend of mine came to our RCC school, told about Japan, how to use ohashi, how to do origami, how to say konnichiwa, what is Tokyo, and these school children were, from age 5 to 10, many of them, and I think none of them have been to any other country, but now there is a bunch of students there, children there, loving Japan. So why can, this ICC and RCC can be a good bridge to traveling purpose while we go to a new country. I don't want to see any touristic thing. I don't want to see the things that I see in Instagram. I want to visit the RCCs. I want to see the children. I want to see the villages. I want to have impact. I want to tell about Turkey and Turkish people somewhere in the world through Rotary, through ICC. I think this can be a good opportunity for RCC and ICC to be hand in hand.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, good point.
Yes, because ICC is really an exchange at many levels. We see people coming and families coming, spending holidays together with the counterpart of the ICC, 1 year in a place, second year in another place. So it is, of course, important to do those global grants and projects, but also there is, and this is the most important, is that ICC works with the heart and works with the relation between people. So we really have to continue and enhance all this. And I think we can, there's no more question. There is one question. Very good. Oh, okay.
I think Shah asked Ambassador to join the Rotary. He has yet to say yes. It is like, will you marry me? He should say yes. Will you say that, please?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. No,
Welcome.
yes.
Welcome. Welcome, So we gained today 2 beautiful hands to help and 1 kind heart to give. So thank you. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
So thank you
Welcome.
everybody, and
Thank you.
7 o'clock